going to divorce my husband of 10 years. My husband and I met when I was 18. It had always been just me and my best friend, but when my husband came along, we became an inseparable trio. For me, it was love at first sight. I had the biggest crush on him, but didn't want to ruin the friendship thing we had, so I kept it to myself until he confessed to me when we were 20. Things went fast and we got married when we were 22. My best friend got married too, and we have all remained close. We had invited my best friend and her husband around for dinner, and we were joking about things when my husband brought up how he had always had a crush on my best friend, but then she got a boyfriend, so he settled for me instead. When I tell you, my whole world just came crashing down. I realized my marriage of 10 years was him settling for second best, that I was never his first option. After that, everything he did just started to annoy me, and he just stopped being attractive to me anymore. We haven't slept together in 6 months because I feel so disgusted. I just want out. I feel like I've wasted my life. I'm disappointed in him and myself for believing I was the one he liked. So the funny thing about this is that this post somehow got back to the husband, so he made a reply post and he says, I destroyed my marriage with a stupid comment and a one-night stand. So I found my wife's post. I'm going to divorce my husband of 10 years. Someone made a video about it and that video got back to me. I would like to tell my side. When I met my wife, I didn't really think much of her. She was funny, kind, and a good friend, but I had no interest in her. Her friend Sarah was gorgeous. She had long red hair and these soft freckles and long lashes. She was my dream girl, but she was not interested in me. I noticed my wife, Amber, was hanging out with me more, laughing at my jokes, listening to me, and it made me consider having more of a relationship with her. Sarah got a boyfriend about a year into us being friends, and her interest in our friendship got dwindled. She hung out with us less and spent more time with her boyfriend, which left me and Amber alone a lot. I ended up giving up on Sarah and focusing on Amber, and we started dating and got married. We kept our friendship with Sarah, but we focused on each other. In the back of my mind though, it's always felt like I had missed out on something. My marriage was boring. Amber and I were basically friends, and I was working hard to save for a house, and she was working hard to save for future kids, so we were existing alongside each other, not actually together. So one day when we were at dinner, I got jealous of Sarah and her husband, who seemed happy, and made the comment about settling for Amber. Amber shut down after that. She kept repeating the same questions over and over, and it would make me so angry that I didn't want to answer, so I didn't. I guess that was my first bad move. Sarah messaged me after dinner to check if I was okay, and we kept messaging. She was just reassuring me that I did nothing wrong and it would work out. Then I got a text saying Amber was planning to divorce me. So Sarah came over and we tried to stop her from leaving me, but it seemed to only make things worse. Sarah saw how distraught I was and stayed to comfort me, and we drank, and in one stupid drunk mistake, we ended up sleeping together. Oh my god, you asshole. Sarah confessed to her husband that we slept together, and her husband told Amber. Now both of our marriages are ruined. I regret it so much, and I just wish I could take it all back. I'm so sorry. What a piece of shit.
Am I the asshole for yelling at my brother and kicking him out of my house? My 28 female brother, 33 male, and I have a difficult relationship, all because I started dating his best friend, 34 male, 8 years ago. And for him, that was an unforgivable betrayal. And I know that to this day, he still thinks the same. That's why our relationship is almost non-existent, even now. I apologized thousands of times for falling in love with his best friend and for not having been able to fall in love with someone else, but he never forgave me. We only see each other at family parties, and that's it. He didn't attend our wedding and didn't want to meet our children, 6 female, 4 female, 2 female, when they were born either. So you can imagine how much he hates me. A few days ago, we celebrated our mom's, 62 females, birthday at my house because hers was being renovated. Well, my mom begged him to come because she is sick and she doesn't know if she will be able to celebrate her birthday with us next year. And he accepted her invitation and went to my house. Of course, since he arrived, he made it clear that he was only there for our mom and that he was not interested in playing happy family with me or my kids. I kept quiet because I wanted my mom to have a good day and ignored him. After cutting the cake, my mom opened her gifts, and one of those gifts was an album of the most important moments of all of her children and grandchildren, something that for some reason she asked for a few months ago. And she was so happy with the album that she started looking at all the photos and showing them to the guests while remembering when she took each photo of us, her children. In that album, there were photos of my brother with my husband at their high school graduation. My husband was included because he and my brother have been friends since they were babies, so he is like another son to her. And when my brother saw them, he said something like, quote, "What a nice picture. No one would suspect that you would my little sister a few years later." My sister, 31 female, told him to shut up, that he was being rude, but he didn't stop and kept looking at the photos to say things that nobody wanted to hear. So I got tired and asked him to leave my house. I told him that he was being rude and inconsiderate with our mother and that I didn't want him there. And of course, he stormed off, and now he thinks that the villain of the movie is me. And the worst thing is that one of our sisters, 36 female, thinks the same thing because she thinks that I should have kept quiet since it's my fault that he's like that. Am I the asshole?
No, your brother's a selfish little asshole. If you were a best friend, you would want your best friend to be happy. And as a sibling, I think you'd want your sibling to be happy. What's really the big deal here?
Am I the asshole for leaving my babies inside by themselves? I, 20, am a mother of triplets, whom are only 2 months old. I never expected ever in my life that I'd be a mother to triplets. So when I first became pregnant, it was definitely the last thing on my mind. I'm home with my babies all day long and had to even transfer my education to online. Sometimes I just need some fresh air, especially when I can't get them to stop crying, and I find myself getting super frustrated to the point of tears. It's honestly so hard, and the dad isn't here to help as he's either at work or at school. My fiance's 24 parents rented us a main floor apartment, so when I step outside, I'm literally just sitting on the chair right beside the door. Plus, I have a baby monitor set up in their room, and it has a camera on it, and I can literally see them and hear them. So if anything happened, I'd be able to quickly get to them. Being able to step outside for a few minutes to take a breather is really important to me because I start to have mini panic attacks when I can't get them to stop crying, and I get really frustrated because I just feel super overwhelmed. Being able to go outside just gives me a chance to calm down. My fiance came home to me sitting outside while the babies were crying and freaked out on me, calling me a horrible mom and a bunch of other names that I'm not going to list here. He thinks that I was being super neglectful and putting the babies in harm's way, and even told his parents, and now everyone seems to be really against me. I grew up in the system. My fiance's family is the only family I've ever known, so it breaks my heart that they are so upset with me, but I really don't think I was doing anything wrong or putting my babies in harm's way, but they seem to think otherwise. So here I am wondering if I should apologize for my actions or if I'm the asshole in this situation.
But he definitely has to chill out and let him read this so he definitely knows that...
Well, we have an update on that.
Oh, okay.
I decided to show my fiance this thread. At first, he was really upset with me for sharing our personal problems with strangers on the internet, even though it's anonymous. But in the end, when he had a chance to calm down and hear me and all of you guys out, he actually apologized and promised me he'd be more involved with parenting and even is willing to take parenting classes, which I'll hold him to that. I just want to say thank you everyone for the support that you all gave me. It brought tears to my eyes, happy tears. Seeing how supportive you all were to a stranger on the internet, I don't think I ever received this much support before. I can't believe how much attention this post has gotten, plus the awards. Again, thank you so much.
My aunt went to her ex-boyfriend's wedding. My youngest aunt from my mom's side is a disappointment from the family. Like, even my parents tell me not to become like her. My maternal grandmother hates her, but she's the kind of woman I want to be when I grow up. My aunt is in her mid-30s now. She has a lot of tattoos and piercings, dyed hair, and played the drums. She is a bartender in a pub and she loves her job. But the reason no one talks about her in the family is because she's lesbian and she lives with her lover. So last year, after a bad mental breakdown, I begged my dad to take me to her place. I had dropped out of my final examination and I was in pretty bad condition. That's when she told me the story. So before she was dating her now girlfriend, she was dating this guy who she dreamt of spending her whole life with, only to find out he slept with his coworker. After a year of their breakup, the homewrecker comes to my aunt and gives her a wedding invitation and rubbing it into her face that she was pregnant. Well, the catch is, my aunt said gleefully that her ex was infertile. Him and my aunt had been trying to have a baby to no avail, and hence they went to a doctor. And the test results were sent to her. So her ex didn't know he was infertile. She said she didn't tell him out of spite, but boy did it play out good for her. Her ex was Christian, so they did not have a typical Hindu wedding, but the ones they show in English movies. My aunt talked to her ex's brother and convinced him to play a part in her revenge. The brother was up for it apparently. So at the reception, there are this walk down the memory lane kind of event where they show pictures of the couple. So after a few cute pictures, a picture of the homewrecker with another man kissing pops up. And then another, and as the bride was in a frenzy, the test result shows up on the screen and the slide stops. A written note saying that the groom was infertile. And boy, the aunties at the party were all in for the drama as the groom looked utterly humiliated and the bride was in tears. This is what you get for messing with the woman's true feelings. Man, I love my aunt. She's a badass.